We're back! It's episode 18 of the podcast, and we're joined by yet another crew from the finals. I've got Slayer and Quax. Last week, I was able to grab K-Man and more of the crew, so glad we get to kind of fully round out our season. But guys, we're done. We're finally done with Split 2. We're going into internationals. I guess for folks at home who maybe didn't watch the whole season or maybe just tuned in towards the end of playoffs, what was Split 2 for you guys?
Wow, what a good question. What a thought-provoking
Sometimes
question.
I ask sometimes.
Yeah, it's very funny because Split 2 felt like to me I would describe it as like a roller coaster, right? When it comes to like expectations. And I know that does sound like an easy way to describe a lot of seasons, but hear me out, right? So like the regular Split I felt like was a lot of what we expected. Yeah, sure, there was like the NIP resurgence was very fun. But like, we had BLG still at the top esports, Jackie Love back, they look a lot better. JDG was up there still. AL, yeah, struggling, felt a little different, but not if you watch Split 1. And then we got to Night's Rivals. Is it always called Night Rivals? Night's Rivals, or is that just the one play tournament?
I think it is for this year. So
okay.
just keep going with it. And if we're wrong, someone
play-in
sounds
tournament.
Cool.
Night's Rivals play-in. Cool. Then we got to the Night's Rivals tournament, the play-in tournament. And then we went another direction, right? You got jerked far left when you're expected to turn right. And we had like we get NIP dropping out, IG getting wall-upped, Weibo out. All these teams going to Nirvana, and we're the SpongeBob meme of the 100 SpongeBobs running around with everything on fire. But then, and then the playoffs continue that, right? We get another Split 2 where Team WE does all this amazing stuff. But at the end of the day, you come to a stop, you get off the rider, everybody else gets off, and it's BLG as the champion. And I think that's a perfect apt description of what a roller coaster is. So, yeah, that's how I felt about Split 2.
I would use the same description of Split 2 myself. I think that it started off pretty standard. I would say there was you can kind of break Split 2 into like several different sections for me. Like obviously I would say like first half of regular season, second half of regular season, Night's Rivals, and then playoffs are like the four that I would divide them into. And like all of them had their healthy amount of spice, in my opinion. Like I think the top esports immediately coming out and just bulldozing everyone at the start of the Split was like something that a lot of people didn't expect. NIP making a resurgence was also something really cool. And then, yeah, like Slayer said, the Night's Rivals tournament was just a complete surprise to everyone who watched it. Playoffs continued that. I think this was a Split where you could look at every single series and get entertainment value out of all of them. Some Splits, there's just games that aren't very fun. Like teams just get shredded or destroyed, and it's not like a super enjoyable watch. But I legitimately think every series that I watched the LPL this Split was fun, or like there was something to take away from it that you will look back on and be like, that was a good time. Like that was a really fun moment. That was a really cool display of a player or a display of a team, or like here's a new element to a team that maybe I didn't think about before. And it just kept building on each other. And that's what I think made the playoffs so exciting, is because all of the teams were going back and forth and you had a reason to root for or look at all of the squads that ended up making it. So, I would say the adjective I would use to describe this Split was meaningful, because every team is going to now walk into Split 3 with some narrative attached to them that I think you can follow.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that playoffs went. I didn't even say win. It literally was just one upset, guys. Like the rest of the teams just kind of floundered. Like we got to see the Nirvana.
Yeah, but that
teams
upset rocked
BTFO'd.
the world so hard.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. We have a look at our playoff bracket. Thank you. By the way, for anybody who hasn't noticed, we where? What was? Yeah,
Wait,
but like
one
you could
upset.
make
I would
more
say
of a-
WE was an upset over AL.
Well, it was back-to-back upsets, yeah.
It was back to back, but I don't know. Well, wait. Actually, Oh, that's right. My predictions. I did have AO winning this series. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like in retrospect, like obviously hindsight gives you like a lot more to look at, but like I think it was fairly obvious that AL were probably not going to reach very far into the split unless they like something drastically changed, like the meta changes, and those are the concerns we're gonna have going into split 3 with more engaged champions and support coming through now. Seems like that's kind of the angle that we're going towards. So maybe Kyle is able to kind of right the ship in that end, but I don't know. Most of this was like, okay, like we came in, we were high off of Knights Rivals, and then immediately it was okay, all the Nirvana teams back of the line immediately. You guys had your fun, no more fun after that. So I'm interested to see what we're gonna get now that we have a group Nirvana that is supercharged and Group Ascend that is. Group Ascend might actually be a little boring. We'll see what ends up going on. Let's take a look at some of the rumors heading into Split 3 as free agency window is about to open up in a couple of weeks with MSI on the table, and we've got a lot of different things going around. We've got a bunch of stuff on the board here. So, gentlemen, which team do we want to jump into first on this?
Where is he? Where is he?
Don't worry about it. He's down,
don't worry about
the
that.
road. I already told. Come on, man. You know,
I don't even need to say
man,
his name, and you all just immediately.
Yeah. Can we? How about? I'd like to all collectively laugh at Weibo again, because they're funny again. His support's just hilarious again. Like we went from once again screwing over Arha. He ends up third, and then now we've got.
Now we're relegating ourselves to Mohawk duty.
It's like now we are at such rock bottom that we played a rookie that got shit on, and we're not gonna help him. He's not gonna get a spot again because we need to get out of Nirvana, and we're left with the options of Moham. If Moham gets signed for Weibo, I will post a minute of a video of me laughing as hard as I can for 5 minutes straight.
Can I join you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Jway would be a fun pickup, though. I mean,
yeah, kinda, not really. I mean,
I think he needs a change of scenery. I'm obviously a very big Jway capper. I label myself a capper now because Truther doesn't feel right. But I'm not willing to give up on the potential. This guy I think he still brings as a support in the LPL. If he screws up a spot like Weibo or he doesn't, the form dips again, then we can have some conversations. But I think Weibo Jway could be fun with Elk.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
dude, the idea of Moham though, going from going from the relegated team to Weibo.
Hey, Xiaoshu went to JDG and they almost made worlds.
That is true. But like, I don't know. Like Slayer and I, we're like PTSD, like war survivors with Moham because we saw that man pull out Rammus support together, and we both came out like slightly worse for wear, but like we're still here, but we lived. But it was against him.
I still have people sending me pictures of the face I made when Moham.
I mean, I was like, I was just
like,
confused. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
No, the whole Weibo situation is really funny. It's like when you go gambling, right? And you like first try.
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't either. But like you go out and you like win a ton of money, right? Like you hit it big, and then you're like, I can do better. And then you gamble again, you lose all of that, and then you're like, shit, now I need to regain it back, and then you lose even more. Like if you had just quit while you were ahead, you would be fine. If Weibo had just kept Arha and not like tried to like find another support or like do this shit, like they probably would still be in Ascend. Like,
yeah, for our audio only listeners, if you haven't found out or figured it out by now, Weibo are thinking about picking, or they're doing tryouts with Jway or with Moham. They're trying out both supports. They lost the bid for Crisp, who is another person who is on this graphic right now. Crisp, last moment, gets picked up or is rumored to be picked up by LGD. So they're going to be getting rid of YCX. They're also going to be getting rid of their top laner, which kind of surprising to me that we're getting rid of Birtle and we're trying to pick up Breathe.
He did really good this split, yeah.
Yeah, Birtle, kind of like a one-split wonder, maybe just like a free mercenary roaming the lands. He's already gone down to LLA and playing in some of the, like the Estral team, went to, I forgot what that Isurus Estral lineup went to. I forgot what international it was. But we got to see them play a little bit, and it's just surprising that Weibo is making this change and that LGD are making these changes. Also with Jue being on the market, Perukia is back on EDG, so maybe Mark actually starts to care about this team, or Rafa starts to really show love to these guys again. But I am still on the table about whether or not we'll see Sinyan again, or if we're going to get a different mid here. I know that they were kind of teasing Bulldog last week on the podcast, so a team with Bulldog sounds interesting. Let's just look at LGD first, and then we'll move on to our other Group Ascend team here. What do we feel about LGD with Breathe? Mid jungle's the same, and then AD carry is the same, and we're having now Xiaoya and Crisp.
Go ahead, Quax.
Sure. I mean, listen, it's really hard for me to, in good conscience, talk, because it really sucks that I have to talk about Breathe like this when I think he was like one of the best players in Split 2 for the first like week. He had like an insane KDA, like everyone was saying this guy is an absolute demon once again, and then like he just, like the rest of the team, completely dropped off the face of the earth. So I feel like it's a bit of a gamble with this guy, because like we could clearly see that he has good form, but like can he actually maintain that form is my biggest question. Crisp, I think, see, I haven't had a lot of Crisp tape to go off of, given that I, only joined LPL this year, and this would be his first split back. He wasn't in Split 2 or Split 1. So, like, I don't have a lot to say about that. I'll just have to kind of wait and see. But I do have, I think, an opinion on top lane, and that's just that it kind of feels bad for Birtle. I think he was the best player on LGD for a good while during the regular season, and, like, to see him now not on the team does kind of suck.
I'm overall excited and happy with LGD. I think there are a couple of ways, it's rare air, of course, that we have teams from Nirvana like earning Ascent spots now, right? Like this is rare air. And there's a lot of ways the teams could have gone about this, right? If you're at LGD. You could keep the same roster, try and, build off of the momentum, the synergy that 5 has. But I do think you're capping your ceiling with that 5 in Ascent, right? And instead, LGD have been aggressive in these free agent bids. Like you mentioned, Dimitri, like just beating out Weibo for Crisp is like, that's a big thing. That's a big moment. That's a clear sign that LGD to me are saying, listen, we want to compete in Ascent. Like, we want to be a team that can maybe fight for the middle of the table. And then they're rumored for Breathe. I agree Birdall was good. I'm also the guy that put Breathe as my third All-Pro team top laner. I think Breathe is a much different player than Birdall, and a player that's very valuable to LGD because he can play a lot of comfortable champions topside, and you really don't have to worry about him a lot. There are some matchups where he's going to get slammed, right? Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that he's going to be fine against Ben, right? Like, there are top players he'll lose to. I think in Ascend, he is a good, at least serviceable top laner for Group Ascend. So these two moves to me are LGD saying, listen, guys, we're not playing for a one split wonder here in Ascend. We're trying to stay in Ascend for 2027. And build this team back up, build this org back up to what, people remember LGD being as a team that used to compete at internationals for the LPL. That is very fun to me.
What was that one game where I think it was JDG versus IG? Xiaoshu was playing like Tryndamere. He's paired up with paired up with like a tank jungler that I think was being piloted by
I think it was Sejuani. It was Sejuani.
Yeah, I think it was Sejuani.
It was Tryndamere, Sejuani, Yone topside.
By Junja, and they just kept diving Breathe on Jace. over and over again. Like, the thing is, I think Breathe is a player who, like, would advocate to be put on, like, more carry-oriented stuff because he does have good mechanics, in my opinion. But, like, to me, it just didn't feel like he was actually able to execute them onto the level that we saw in, like, the first couple of weeks of Split 2. Like, it felt like teams kind of figured him out. And, I mean, it's also just a question of, do we think if he keeps that same style, like, is LGD going to be better about facilitating that than IG was? That's a very real conversation to have.
What do you mean facilitate? They didn't facilitate any top lane play on IG. There was
no,
a
they didn't, right?
sinking hole in mid lane.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So like, but
yeah.
Yes, so like that team didn't do shit for him. Do we think LGD is going to be any different though? Is my, because I felt like Bertle, his most valuable trait was how flexible he was. Like, he could really do whatever you needed him to in draft, in my opinion. And I don't think, and like Breathe has the experience to be able to do that, but I just wonder what his dynamic is going to be like with this team. Because if we think that LGD can facilitate him better than the non-existent facilitation he got on IG, then that's one thing. But then we also think there is a chance Breathe says, like, fuck that, I'll just try and play something stylistically different for this team because, like, Xiaoya is on my team and he likes to have resources. And all of that. So I just wonder how he's going to mesh with this team because I already felt like LGD had a good thing going with Bertle as their top laner. And now I think that has the potential to change. And if the dynamic of the team changes, they could be worse. They could be better. It's hard to say. But there's no doubt that I think the dynamic is going to be different from Split 2 to Split 3.
I'm more surprised that LGD won the bid over Crisp. I would assume that with the money that Weibo has access to, they can literally just buy most any player that they want.
Yeah, but one team is in...
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say, is that one of these teams has a much clearer or an easier path of getting to Worlds, whereas LGD, if you lose one bad series, like, your entire regular season does not matter at that point. You just lose one series in the play-ins, and then you're not going to Worlds, and now you've wasted 3 months of grinding and even reputation, right? Like, suddenly it's like, okay, well, now I've failed to do this like multiple times. I've now been moved off of rosters like Top Esports last year, and I was on Weibo last year, and things were still kind of murky. So I think Breathe will be fine. Bertle was flexible, and that's okay. It just means that a player like Xiaoya needs to step up, because now I've seen a couple of series in a row where, sure, the best of 5 versus Weibo, they end up winning and they do a great job. But there have been a lot of series where I've seen Xiaoya kind of get the ball and then not run with it or not close the game out. And you would always say, okay, well, look, he had a lot of resources, but maybe his jungler messed it up or his top lane or someone else on the team. It's like, well, now you don't really have, at least on paper, an excuse. We'll see what contextually each game looks like and if Xiaoya is actually meeting and performing at that bar. But the last time we saw Crisp, it wasn't great, but he also was playing with a much, much lower level player in Light, at least at the time relative to his skill level in previous years. So
yeah,
I'll give him, there's always a pass. He's a fantastic Renata player. His Alistar looks great. So as long as we're not on Enchanters, I think Crisp will look great.
That's a good
We'll
segue
see whether or
into,
not LGD can do anything.
My heart does go out to YCX, though.
It does. It does.
Yeah, that too. YCX got
it
screwed
is
over
sad.
badly. Made this whole big emotional post about making Group Ascend for the first time in his career, and then the org, who by the way had trusted him all of like the last
Years.
1.5 years that he's been playing in Group Ascend or in LPL, they finally boot him, and it's like, man, like my dream gets made, and you got esports. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, it happens. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to pretend here and say that I think like Crisp is an upgrade if we're getting like, you know,
Yes.
cold-blooded or whatever, like logistical. But yeah, it hurts. It hurts for YCX. I'm very sad for him about that. I guess maybe to keep pushing the convo, I think I don't have much to say for EDG personally. Like, I'm glad Peruki is back. I think he deserves to be, you know, playing in the LPL. So I'm fine with that. For the audio listeners you referenced, can you try and spell out how many people are on my screen under the LNG banner right now. What is going on over here?
So LNG, we talked about it last week. They got rid of all of the Koreans. Krako's gone. Bulldog is gone. Top lane and bot lane are going to stay the same. Missing did not seem like he found a spot or one that he was really going to thrive on. I assume that's mostly due to LGD getting crisp at the last moment. So 1xn and Missing are going to stay the same. There's a bunch of rumors for what their mid jungle is going to be, and right now it looks most likely that it is going to be Weiwei. Previously was on this team last year when it went through the horrific time of winning basically almost no series, but barely being able to hold on in terms of not getting relegated. So Weiwei is the most likely. There is also now potentially Rio and Climber that are also trying out for the spot, but it seems like LNG are most likely set on grabbing Weiwei again. And mid lane is either going to be Saber or Nya from Invictus Gaming. So
Okay.
let's just imagine the 4 out of the 5 roles are confirmed and mid lane's the one in flux.
Okay. Well, right before we get into that, I do want to say that I tweeted out about this, and while it does seem like Weiwei is definitely the pick, my dream out of the scenarios would have been that Rio's the jungler here, but it looks like it's Weiwei. So the point that I want to lead off here is please LNG, give mid lane to Saber, bro. Saber was so good on Ultra Prime last split, man, and it just unfortunately goes under the radar because it was Ultra Prime. This guy really leveled up next split. I think it would be very fun if Saber and 1xn are the premier carries of this team. I really hope it's Saber.
Saber's got a lot of upside. I think like his mechanics are really good. And yeah, him being on Ultra Prime, I think a lot of people didn't get a proper look at him or gave him a fair chance when it came to like actually evaluating this player.
He was my all Nirvana mid laner.
Yeah, no, he is definitely good. I would 1,000,000% pick him over Nya. I'll say that much. For jungle, though, I'm actually completely against Slayer on this one. I would have much rather gone for Climber than Rio. I thought that Climber was really good. Obviously, just don't give him Nocturne. But other than that, like I felt like he had like decent series, good showings, and like he was consistent. Right, and that's the biggest thing for me that I think he has over Rio. Rio had like a really strong start. This is exactly what I said for Breathe. Had a really strong start, dropped off the face of the planet. How much you want to attribute that drop off to the fact that he was on OMG? That's up to you. But I think individually he did not look as good when they were like done versus.
He was
when
playing
he
Lee
initially
Sin
came
before it was buffed. Come on, this is post nerf, this post buff Lee Sin. Like this guy's gonna be smurfing again.
I also just hate how quick of a hook they gave him with like they were swapping around jungle. I don't know what I hated.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree he dropped off though, Quax. You're
I would
right.
I would imagine the mentals of the players were probably not in the greatest space when you're constantly competing to start on the roster, and then you're also facing down the barrel of relegation. Like yeah, that would get to me too. But like I don't know. I just felt like Climber like had to deal with similar things where he was also staring down the barrel of relegation, and he was more consistent than Rio, and I feel like that is the more important trait when it comes to being a professional player and a jungler at that.
Sure. I just want to do a little bit of, just a little bit of saving here. I think players were really rough on, or people were really rough on a player like Sinyan coming in for EDG, but by the time he played his last series up against BLG in the playoffs, he had been playing for 3 weeks in the LPL. And for Group Nirvana, that only meant that he played like 1 series before they went into playoffs, and then he plays their entire play-in series. So his actual breadth of games is very small. Nya's actually the same. He only started on the 1st of May, and his last game was the 23rd. yes, we saw more games of Nya, and you could maybe make the value argument that, hey, like, throughout those games, he wasn't incredible. But the team is very clearly suffering from, like, bot lane's not working. Wei's kind of trying to, it felt like Wei is trying to put out, like, a bunch of fires, and mid lane, all you need to be is just stable. You just need to sit there, hang out, and I need to try to fix a lot of things. I am more on the Nya train as someone who has watched Saber for a much longer period of time. This guy is a melee specialist. This guy is going to play the assassins. His Talia is kind of meh. If Azir ever comes back, this guy's never going to win on this champion. I think a lot of his mages are pretty weak, and unless we get more AD mids in the game, I just don't think we're going to see him really shine. And it seems like the group Nirvana teams are all upgrading, and if you take a player like Saber and you're trying to go deep in some of these best of threes, and again, the most important part for all Nirvana teams is that playoffs play-in series you're playing. I don't know if Saber has the depth that I require from a mid laner to do the rest. This is not also not mentioning the fact that now we're going to have to integrate 2 new players into this team, and we're going to see basically a completely revamped look for these guys.
Yeah.
Outside of the bot lane is still there, and Sheer is playing top lane.
So, I think that's a valid criticism of Saber, but wouldn't you be equally or somewhat similarly worried about Nya for a similar spot like deep in its series?
I just haven't seen Nya play for that long, but I have seen Saber play in the LPL for
fair.
2 years now. So
Fair.
I'm
think
just
that's-
like, okay,
I guess
how
that's fine.
why are we being so harsh on him when, like, people were calling for Sinian to be gone, and Sinian is allegedly gone at this point. Bulldog is going to mid, so I like if we're gonna be tough on I feel like the Nya criticism only comes from this whole team was garbage.
Yeah,
for the last half of the split.
Yeah. My spin. I don't necessarily want to be very critical of Nya. I guess I'm more so on the camp of I'm down to reward Saber for maybe one of his best, maybe the best split he's had in the last 2 years.
Sure.
Yeah. So, but I think that's a valid criticism. He definitely will get exposed if we don't see more melees work their way into mid lane. Hey man, Silas buff before MSI. Am I right, guys? That's the start.
True.
That's
There
the
you
start.
go.
That's
There you
it.
go.
Yep.
Um,
Akali is like pick ban right now. Only. You know what I realized yesterday? I was watching Drew Toot with my girlfriend, and we both at the same time realized, because he was talking about it on the video, that Akali is the only champion in League of Legends that actually builds Gunblade. Katarina does not really build it. There's literally no other character in League of Legends other than Akali that builds Gunblade, if you think about it. Like,
Some crazy Israel players.
I actually tried. I like sat there for like 5 minutes because I was like, that can't be right. Wait, that's and then I slowly realized, wait, that is actually correct. No other champion builds this item. So, you know,
Until
Akali
Mr.
is
Locke
still
comes
good 'cause
around.
yeah, because she is the only one that can build an item.
I'm trying to look up Gunblade stats really quickly. Let me just control F this real quick.
It's true. I looked at it yesterday. I was like, wait, hang on. How are you the only character? How am I just now finding out about this or realizing this?
So looking at on coach lists, I'm looking at frequent users. Akali at 61.6% of the user base builds Gunblade, and then the second highest is Katarina at 17.6.
Yeah.
And the next highest, so top 3 goes from 61, 18, Jax at 5% of the player base is building Gunblade.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So very niche item. I'm glad as an older League of Legends player that it's back. I have a feeling with how niche this is, it is likely going to be removed at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So, which makes me sad, but I'm glad that other items have come back, or they've reworked
Bring
Zeke's
back
conversions
Deathfire
to be
Grasp
better.
next.
We can't. We have the rune. The rune is already there.
Yeah.
We're not getting any more Deathfire anymore.
Am I gonna get hate for saying if we're gonna get Gunblade out? I kind of liked when Everfrost was here.
No, Everfrost was bad. You deserve that.
You know what item I never want to see in the game again? I never ever want to see anything like Gore Drinker in the game ever again. You've got, that item was the worst. That was
really
the
disgusting.
that was the worst item.
I can't believe it was an AD carry. I vouch for Everfrost. That's actually I should.
Yeah.
Be.
I actually thought if you were gonna say a mage item, you'd probably say like Crown of the Shattered Queen, but supports already kind of have that with Celestial Opposition. So.
Yeah, please don't bring that back. Like, do you guys really
No, that
want
thing was
mids
lame.
to be rushing Crown every? I mean, it
No,
wasn't
that was
like
so
an item
lame.
that was already like super good, but like, I don't
No,
want
that-
Crown.
no.
I think I think rewarding defensive play puts us back in the same spot that we had for, like,
Bring back Night Harvester Chaos.
No one built that item except Vladimir. So
But
Diana.
I love
Diana?
Vladimir.
Am I thinking of the wrong item?
Diana sometimes.
Diana
It was the ability
Di-
haste. All those items would have to be reworked to not have their legendary passive anymore, which was part of the mythic passive, right? Because all of
Where you
the
can only
items
build
are built
one.
around. Yeah, if you
You can only
built
build,
a mythic item, not only could you build one, but it was, hey, for every legendary item, you get X stats. So for Night Harvester, it was you get ability haste every time you build a legendary from your Night Harvester. And that just, I don't want to see a reworked version of a lot of these items.
Yeah.
But,
Worst
anyway.
one was Gore Drinker. People will say Duskblade Invis version, but I would actually murder someone to get that back in the game as a cosmic player myself.
Prowler's
Well, yeah,
Claw
of
was
course you would.
also really disgusting.
Oh, ew! I had that out of my head until you said it.
Divine Sunderer? No, I don't want any of those items.
We kind of have a Timu version of Divine Sunderer now, with Sundered Sky a little bit.
Yeah,
No?
yeah, it's balanced. It's balanced this way. It's
Yeah,
way
we
more balanced.
Oh, wait.
we've got.
I'm dumb. Just keep going. Sorry. I remember which item I want back. I don't know why I thought of any other item.
Which is?
Gale Force. Come on, give me an extra dash.
No.
See,
yeah,
no, we're not. No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah,
If
yeah.
I, if
Okay,
I
next
want
dash.
Prowler's Claw,
You want Gale Force back until champions that aren't 80 carries start building it and and then covering the
you're right.
distance on you and killing you.
but
You're
80,
right,
but
but-
non-80 carry champions who would build that item just built Prowler's Claw instead.
Yeah, they did.
Renekton,
Which was-
yeah, dude, Renekton with Prowler's Claw was the funniest thing ever.
I remember
I-
getting one shot by a what's his name, by a friend of ours in an in-house. I was playing Set into Renekton, and he just Prowler Claws into me. I'm like, what the? How does this guy kill me from the? Oh, all right, we need to remove this item right now. We've gone off topic. We went down
That was a fun off topic.
the itemization. Yeah, but let's get to the real meat and potatoes. AK, the most important news you guys will ever hear in the next 3 weeks. And it is the GOAT coming back.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's IG, baby.
He's back.
We've got the Shy coming back to Invictus Gaming. Rookie is heavily rumored to be coming back as well. So this team is going to allegedly be the Shy, Wei, Rookie, Tiachi, and Mako. We're going to have 4/5 of the roster from last year playing in Group Nirvana. And it'll be tough. Their road to Worlds is super, super difficult because this team failed to do anything in the playoffs in Split 1. They did not make the playoffs in Split 2. And now, to make Worlds, they either need to win the split in Split 3 from the playoffs or just qualify, make top 6, and require 4 other teams to essentially die to make the regional qualifier.
Just win, guys.
And then even if they make the regional qualifier, they still need to win 2 best of 5s to make it in, if at the bare minimum.
Yeah. Can I just say, I am so happy about this news. I've never casted the Shy before. I know you two have. I have never gotten this honor, so I am extremely excited.
Me and Dimitri casted his first ever pentakill.
Yeah,
That's
there you
true.
go.
I have done that.
I mean, like, listen, you also have to keep in mind, LPL podcast folks, before this was announced, was like, I really hope the Shy comes back. And then Dimitri,
We said it on the podcast last week.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's not happening, guys.
Yeah, literally shut that shit down. Him and K-Man shot it down. And I was like, oh, okay. And then yesterday, I was like, I really hope the Shy comes back. And then Dimitri again was like, he's in Chasing Rings only mode. He will not come back because IG is in Nirvana. And then I wake up in the morning to just the best news ever. It felt, it feels so good. I'm very excited for this. I don't even know how it's going to end up turning out. Like, who knows what his level is after not playing for a year competitively. But damn, I'm happy to see him back in the LPL. It doesn't feel the same without him.
True. I agree. It's fun. It's fun. It's gonna nonetheless be a fun story, right? Like, regardless how this plays out, it's gonna be cinema. Like if this, either way, either polar opposite, right? Like if they crash and burn and suck somehow in Nirvana, it's gonna be must-watch television. Some people are gonna hate it if they really suck. Some people are really gonna hate it, or they make the run, right? Like that's like the coolest thing ever. So I'm all for it. What I will say right now, as a prediction about discussing IG as they go through this run, I just can't wait to go back to this clip when I start hearing people talk about IG actually being able to do this, and they start capping for Jotchi being actually able to do this on this team. And then we're gonna come back to this clip and be like, guys, you forgot that they're employing Jotchi, not Gala.
Let's take a step back here. Gala was trash for 2 splits out of the year last year.
Okay, man, but like this is Jotchi. Like, come on,
people literally
who cares if it's
IG
Jotchi? Where did Gala go? Where did Gala go afterwards? What did he do this split? Where did he go? Where did he go? And what did he do? He got BTFO'd by BLG again. He got fathered by Viper again.
I was loving that. You don't need to. You're sticking music in my ears on that one. I had casters in this department tell me that Gala was first team All Pro AD carry this split. So I don't know.
Who said
that? I know.
Two people. Loxer and Jay Beto.
Those are both color casters, by the way. We're supposed to be the analysts, the ball knowers. Gala first team, guys, listen.
I didn't get on the podcast but when this happened, so I had to say it now. I'm sorry.
Bloxer also put Photic #1 Nirvana AD carry for all pro ballots. So I already disavow that. Some of these ballots are the reason why I made them public. You guys need to be voting responsibly, or at least be willing to back it up.
You too, Quax. Double check your work next time, brother.
I will. I'll make sure to review my notes.
If you don't know, he put Tien as the MVP, not Knight.
I literally forgot that I literally had amnesia about doing it too, because I said I put Knight, and I legitimately thought I did put Knight, but then I saw Alk screenshot of me saying Tien, and I just was like, wait, what? Like, I was so confused. So I got, like, hijacked. My mind and body, like, the plot of Weapons.
Kha'Zix took over your brain, bro.
Like, that was me. Anyway, I mean, like, this IG squad, I really do think it's going to be up to Jotchi on whether or not I can be a believer on this team. Because, like, depending on if the Shy actually looks good when he comes back, depending on if Rookie comes back and actually looks fine, like, it's a good top side, right? Like, they managed to... I mean, are we counting their one series against T1 at Worlds or no?
It's definitely at Worlds. The viewership was definitely at Worlds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they made it to Worlds. Like, this is a top side that can do that. But like Jotchi, in my opinion, is really not a great AD carry. Like I am not convinced on this guy at all. I thought that he looked like really whatever on top esports in split 1. I thought that he was like not good on IG in split 2. Yeah, I mean, I think the other players are good, or like good enough to get to that level, but like I need to see him step up before I'm like super behind this team being able to make Worlds, because I cannot see Jotchi making it to international waters.
Sometimes you just gotta get carried by your solo lanes. We'll see what form they come back in, because Rookie didn't look so great, but I'm going to chalk a lot of that up to his divorce and all the stuff around that. So he took a break. His form is probably going to be a little bit more lax, but with also there was this minor news that Mako like broke his arm or broke something in his arm because of a slip at home. They said it won't affect practice. I'm going to just assume that because MSI is around the corner, they're probably not getting a ton, but it is in Korea. The proximity that they would have to playing with some MSI teams, especially if they know, like, hey, Rookie, Thashai, Wei, and Mako are on this team, we'll scrim you guys like maybe once if you really just need the practice, like a random 3-game series we need to play. And they might just give it to them. And they are going to play not as many games as Ascend. So we don't know the format quite yet for Split 3. If it is a much shorter format than last year's, then all of our Nirvana teams essentially need to hit immediately. But I imagine that in a 4-team group, we are going to play double round robin at the very least. Yeah. Just having 6 games makes more sense than you play 3 games over 4 weeks, and then that's your whole season.
How would that even work with 4 teams? 2 teams would have the exact same.
You play a tiebreaker at the end.
Yeah,
that's some bullshit. That is some bullshit right there. If that happens, I am going to like go out publicly and be like, "What are you doing?"
Well, it actually, I mean, you just play a tiebreaker to determine who is second or third, because then your 4 teams are going to go play in playoffs anyway and go up against the Group Ascent teams. Unless they're going to do it in the most cursed way.
Still so stupid. Like, you're playing 3 series? Are you kidding?
Yes. It's high stakes. It's how you drive it. It's better than doing best of ones.
That's so well. Yeah, but that's stupid. Logic in my head is telling me it has to be it has to be double round robin, surely.
I saw the memes that like the reason the Shy came back was because he only has to play 6 series. So it's like he doesn't actually have to do much.
What has he been doing this past? He's been like streaming. I saw something with
He's
like
Wild
tennis.
Rift.
Wild Rift.
He did a tennis. Yeah, he did a tennis event that he showed up to. He has his Wild Rift stuff, which they've been immortalizing him by giving him an Aatrox skin in the game. Wild Rift also has the real version of ARAM Mayhem. Was originally a Wild Rift invention, and what they did all of last year is every time you would play an ARAM, there is a chance for you to get an augment that was named and also with a custom drawing of the player that it was about. So it'd be like, oh, here's a Thashai augment that gives you like some random upgrade for like this ability or when you do X thing. There is a Caps one, there's perks, there's like Faker, there's Uzi, there's all these different like pro players, legendary pro players they put into ARAM Mayhem on their end. And we're actually getting not the pro player end of it, but we're getting like the quests that they just added in for some of the unique champion specific or spell specific upgrades. Those are already in Wild Rift. So if Riot, you wanna put more money or you wanna put more advertising into esports, you just rename some of these augments. You just throw the art you already have of pro players, and boom, you got a free. Everybody will go watch Worlds again.
Give
me
a
question. Faker ARAM Mayhem augment.
I have a question. So I know a lot of people. The Shy is like really famous in China,
yes,
right? So give me like a Western comparison. So like people say Faker is like the Messi of League or like the Jordan or whatever the fuck. Like
LeBron,
what is
not Jordan.
like in terms of like actual popularity and like cultural impact? Like what is the Shy comparable to?
Ronaldo.
Who?
Ronaldo.
Dude, I don't know anything about sports. This might just be you.
Cristiano Ronaldo. You don't know who Cristiano
I know
Ronaldo
who he is, but I don't know to what, like, I would say yes, probably. Like, he's not, well, okay, here's the thing. If I said, this is also just by way of, like, esports versus, like, the rest of the world. If I say Ronaldo around the world, there's a very high likelihood that someone's going to understand what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about. If I say Faker around the world, similarly, I think a large portion of the world would actually know generally what I'm talking about, particularly more skewed towards like a younger generation, but like not to the same level. The Shy, like, you can pick any top laner in any region, and I would say like
they know
over 50% of them not only know who they are, but specifically started playing pro because of him. They wanted to emulate his playstyle. They want to play like the Shy back in 2018,
So
2017.
Sounds like
So,
Steph Curry to me, bro.
If he were to be plopped into a random street in China, would the people on that street be like,
Yes.
that's the Shy?
I mean, it's not only China, right? Like he's a Korean. He's originally
he's-
Korean, so he would
Right.
in China and Korea. I'm sure
Like,
he
would
would
he
get
get
stopped
would
in
he
the
get
middle of the
fucking
street.
swarmed? Is like
Yes, I think
Okay.
highly likely yes that he would. Same with Rookie.
okay.
Same-
Cool.
They're intrinsically
Because
linked.
it's always super fascinating to me to take like icons from like China or Korea and then try to like put them in like a Western or like compare them like popularity wise, because like it's different. Because like I remember last year when GEM, like when she came out with the World Song, a bunch of people were like, who is this? And then like everyone who is familiar with like the culture in like China was like, dude, she's like our Taylor Swift. Like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
so I just think it's super interesting because the Shy is like one of the big celebrities in the LPL, but like I don't know the actual gravity or the weight that his name brings if I were to like go over there.
Him playing last year.
Why doesn't
kind
Wild
of
Rift give
way
Bjergsen
better.
his fucking his own
He
thing,
does
man?
have one. He does
Oh,
have.
yay!
The Burger
Yeah.
King, I miss him
Burger
so
King.
much.
Double
Anyway.
Lift also has one as well.
Oh, okay, good. They covered NA well then. As the sports pilled guy, Alka, off of your responses, it sounds like this guy's Steph Curry for all the sports listeners.
Mhm. Sure.
Steph
That's awesome,
definitely.
yeah.
Well, Steph definitely fits the. To keep it simple, Steph fits the bill of what you said about like a generation of people wanted to go pro playing his style because they saw what he did. That's what the younger generation watched Steph do with 3-point shooting. So
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Exciting. All of just another like point for maybe some newer folks. Almost all of IG's matches in LPL last year, especially the high-profile best of fives, were some of the most watched that we had all year long. So
Yeah.
Biggest fan
anytime
base.
the Shy is playing, and specifically with the form that they had last year, and mostly due to how famous that roster was for Chinese League of Legends, they're going to bring a large influx of fans. Also, this is again probably in line with IG having their own arena now or
Yeah.
venue to play games. So very much looking forward to what LPL is going to have. If we do well at MSI, which will be a topic later, I think LPL is going to be on a completely new trajectory in terms of
Thank you to
hype,
Shy for
viewership.
giving us higher salaries. Woo!
Yeah, I mean,
let's go.
well, let's get to viewership first, and then we can talk about salary.
salary's not even a word. That's not even out. Salary's not in my vocabulary.
Let's move on. We've got to go over our weekend here. We just finished off our finals weekend, and that is going to mean that we get to crown yet another champion, Billy Gaming. I mean, it feels like this is definitely part of a new era of the LPL. We now have
We're in a
BLG
dynasty.
yet again representing our region at MSI alongside Top Esports, who, yes, very disappointing finals if you missed out. It was a 3-0. Game 3 was the closest one, but even then Top Esports could not clutch it out at the end. And very, very dominant showing for not only this organization, but for just the guys in general. Like, looking at trophy cases, Knight, 8 trophies now out of 12 finals appearance, which is crazy. Bin now has 6. He is the #1 top laner if you only look at trophies. Now overtakes both Xiaohu and 369, which I think is just incredible. On now surpasses Ming and Mako as 2 of the LPL GOATs in terms of just trophies, and now kind of is now next to, again, 369, Kanavi, Xiaohu, and Clearlove in trophies. It is clear if you want to win a title, it has been clear for a very long time, but if you want to win, you got to be with Knight. And now that the whole fiasco of last year is over, this is one of the most dominant eras we will probably see since 2023.
Yep. Classic Slayer line here. Mr. Viper didn't really have to do a lot this finals. It didn't play that
Nope.
great. Well, whatever. But as a guy who's done reached highs in the LCK and in the LPL. The fact that he's now tied in trophies with 80 carries like Elk and I believe it Jackie Love, right? Yeah, Elk and Jackie Love. Yeah, each tied at 3. That does say something about his impact in the LPL, even if he hasn't been here. He's been in and out over the years, so that's pretty cool.
Two of them came from this year as well, by the way. Two of those 3 came from Split 1 and Split 2. So hey, a little bit of recency.
True, but yeah, he has a chance to pass him already. Which I mean, will it be a lot thanks to Knight? I'm not gonna pretend like it's not. It'll still be a record. I was very. It was cool to see how elated he was lifting that trophy. He was in particularly very elated. That was cool.
Yeah.
There was also a series before this, which I know Quax was getting very excited about, the real finals, which ended up being our lower finals. 5 games, BLG versus WE. Let's talk about that series for a bit, because that one happened, chronologically first, and I don't know. I really wanted to believe that WE could do it, but I think there's a much different stakes between first round of playoffs and elimination on the line for top 2 of the league. And I would refuse to believe that WE would win that kind of series until I saw it.
The fact that they got close, though, I think is insane. A lot of people, if you want to just go back to the stream, people watching, you can go back to the series where we cast it, like when we went live for that one, and get the VOD. Look at the predictions and just see how many people had BLG 3-0ing this series, and we would have a quick night. The fact that it was 2-3, I mean, Ulk predicted the 5-game banger.
Yeah.
So, credit to you. I don't know what the hell WE were on, though, to be able to, make BLG. Because they took a collective 5 games off of BLG over the course of the entire playoffs, and everyone else only took 1. So whatever WE were doing, I don't know. It was just the complete kryptonite of BLG, it felt like, which was super fun to look at. I think that thank you, producer.
Well, these are fun.
These are great. Yeah, these are grand
finals.
finals. These are grand finals. Yeah. I mean, the predictions here are a lot more balanced, though, and the series was not balanced at all. I feel like WE going into Split 3 are probably going to be the hottest topic. That is just my opinion. Even though that is off topic a little bit, they'll be the hottest topic because of this. And it just felt like the series itself was they were just they were just disrupting BLG's game plan. I think BLG are really good at drafting for a comp, and they're very good at making sure that no wrenches get into the plan of what their comp wants to do. BLG just snuck so many of them in there that by mid to late game, they were all over the place. Their carries weren't where they wanted to be. Champions they weren't playing for were maybe ahead. And WE were contesting them in team fights that they maybe shouldn't have been able to. And also, they were just generally doing a good job in 5v5s. All of these things, I just think that BLG were not prepared for how much WE were going to fight them.
Same thing we said first round of playoffs. We were like, oh, they're just showing up to every objective. Yeah. And it was weird because game 1 was incredible. It was a mega stomp. 14-0-6 Ari from Knight in a 26-minute game. The game was over quite quickly, just from a mid-jungle. Monkey is level 2, level 3 invading Raptors with a Ryze on his team versus Lee Sin. I was like, what are we doing? Yeah. What's the idea here, Monkey? Are we really? Is this what we're going to do in tonight's series?
And then game 2, he flashes over the wall to avoid vision, steals a blue buff. Who does these things? What? I don't understand. Just doing things that BLG can't even predict is such an achievement. And I swear to God, it's what these just insane decisions BLG weren't expecting just got to them constantly.
Yeah, that flash play. I find it funny that we had 2 of those moments where it's oh, we all know somebody burned their flash, but the other team doesn't know.
Yep.
Because then we had Swayon's Olaf where he flashed over the wall to make sure he could pull that wave for 3 seconds so that it would it would.
And then he got dove
It didn't-
anyway.
And
Yeah,
then
it
got
didn't do
dove,
anything.
yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
It was really good to see. At least funny to see anyway. Yeah, they took him to 5. I think in those big moments we did kind of get to see the faults of a team like WE. Just like game 4 draft, they're basically all eggs into about having to 2v2 win the lane.
Game 5 too.
And game 5 as well. Yeah, they had like the Zeri Yumi. Kars pulls out the Ambessa, which by the way they then give Akali over to Knight, which kind of a big mistake in my mind. They have this Udyr top into Jax, and for the whole series, I think About and Arha had been a better 2-on-2 in especially the lane, but then in 5-on-5s we got to see more of that be the case. But BLG's top side was way better. In this game 5, Viper and On with the Corki Nami just obliterated them, and then every single fight was Akali, Maokai, flash, engage with Corki Nami, blow up enemy AD carry, and then the lanes can't do anything anyway. So
Right. I mean, once I saw Viper ahead of About, I was like, this game's over. Like, your entire plan revolves around them engaging onto you, and then with, like, Udyr Microwave, you just buy space for About to dance on the fights with Yumi. And then Viper just gets so far ahead, they all get absolutely, like, demolished in mid, and he gets a ton of gold. From there, the game was just done. Like, they had to be playing around About in games 4 and 5, and they just weren't able to do that effectively. I will say, I also think, yeah, giving Corki Nami feels like as big of a mistake as giving Knight Akali, because Corki Nami was quite literally the only meta-viable duo left. Like, we've had, like, duos in bot lane be, like, super popular. You know, we've had, like, the Ezreal Karma, we've had the Lucian Melia, we've had the Ashe Seraphine. Corki Nami was the only one left, and they let it slide, which is just insane to me.
It's also a bottom lane that, again, I'm the Viper Glazer. I'm gonna take the goggles off here. I know they were pretty weak in 2v2s. They should have been better. And on left Viper, a lot of the game plan. When they were dominant as a bottom lane early in 2v2s, there were a lot of Corki Nami games where it was Viper and On that were like that as well. I knew the series was over in game 4 when Viper got that triple kill on the top river fight on Caitlyn.
dude, he was so useless for like 4/5 of this game, bro. Like, oh my god.
Closer be doing what closer do.
He was down gold when they won the game. He's the only player that is down gold on his opponent, and they win the game.
Because he won that fight?
Yeah. I have worries about Viper and BLG going to MSI. They don't have, like,
Nah, it's
five
okay. International
five-man style. Yeah, WE will be fun. Top Esports kind of sucks that they lose, but they made it to finals in very dominant fashion. Like, game 1 was a blitzkrieg. We're playing, and this is okay. Here's the thing: there is the Road to MSI tournament happening at the exact same time over in the LCK. It is essentially their finals of Split 2. They don't have the finals in the same way, mostly just to build hype for every match. Basically guarantees you have like a seed going in, and it's not like our finals where when we play we already know our 2 teams going to MSI. You only have in their format, their last 2 series are the series that you're going to see qualify them for MSI, which I think is somewhat cool. There's some merits there for what that actually entails. For Top Esports, I'm watching the finals of Road to MSI, and I look at draft game number 1 between T1 and Genji, and here's the fun part about this, of recognizing when teams are scrimming against each other and what teams are in what scrim bubbles. Because you can see this at Worlds, you can see that at MSI, when certain pods of teams have different priorities other than everybody agreeing on this. Game 1 Genji T1 is Jin Camille, Ziggs Shen, and then Vayne top lane for Doran. But we don't get to see a Vayne top lane in this series. Game 1 of our best of 5 for Top Esports BLG is Varus Camille, Sivir Alistar. And it might not seem like that out of the ordinary, but we're getting a Camille in game number 1, and both supports, level 1, were fighting to the death. The 2-on-2 ends up going to JackieLove and Fengyue early, but then we just play 3 people on mid for the next 10 minutes of the game. We're just having a Camille play with a Cassiopeia on her team into Rise every single wave. And BLG, it is a 25-minute game. It is 41 kills. And they absolutely steamrolled Top Esports.
My lungs still hurt that you just brought it back up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And game two, BLG are Ziggs Shen. Like, we're just we know who they're scrimming.
We know who they're scrimming for sure. You also, game 1, you described it perfectly. You left one thing out, Dimitri. You forgot. We always have to fight in those games over a red buff. We have to fight near a red buff, and everyone fights there. That top lane fight, where Dimitri wanted to slap Cream across the face for his actions in that fight.
That was crazy, bro. He walks in and he has 10% mana, and I'm like, you're a Rise versus HP. A full HP Cassio. She just TP'd back after dying. Every play from Top Esports was, hey, we're going to go for this thing, and then, oh, what if we actually kill them while they're also retreating? Which then gave time for BLG to, like, re-energize or get people back into the fight. I'm not going to lie, I was pretty disappointed with the form we got from Top Esports. Like, I get that you want to try to be aggressive. There's many things that were wrong in this series, like Zweon needing to blind into Bin to hopefully give them a better drop. I don't really know where they would have found the angle, but, like, Zweon losing both sides of the Jace Cassante matchup. He was okay in the Rumble game, but that game, like, the whole team was basically exploding. And then he takes an Olaf as a counter into Sion, and he gets not solo killed, but his conditions aren't great for most of the lane. And then he gets dove 3 times in a row, and he loses and he dies. And he doesn't have the same pressure to get onto a Victor or a Senna Seraphine that BLG have in game 3. Very disappointed. It is a rookie, first time in the finals. Fengyue actually played fine for the most part.
Yeah, I thought he played fine. I want to praise, I guess one of the last points I'll have talking about the finals. I said this on the broadcast. I think we did a good job, Dimitri, highlighting this in the drafts. Danny, I really enjoyed his game plan in this one. We consistently saw him. Danny. Yeah, sorry, not Danny. Danny, great plan for JackieLove. I thought that was really smart. Every draft, first phase, we're banning Ezreal. We're banning Lucian. I think game 1 they actually banned the Lucian in second phase, but they banned Lucian across all 3 of the games. Like they were saying, listen, they know that we're not going to play like as hard for the 2v2. Like, we want On to play Camille. Like we saw in game 1, we want to play Shen. Like, we want to get him on the map. We know how good JackieLove could be if we give him a lead. Like, that's a problem. So I'm just going to eliminate a couple of their options. Make sure that they don't get to play Lucian Melio. They don't get to play Ezreal Karma. Let's protect Viper. I thought that was really smart. Like, JackieLove never felt comfortable in this series to me. And he never could get going, even if he was up on gold out of lane against Viper, which I think he was in basically every single one of those games. I thought that was really smart. I was impressed by that.
The Ashe game was the best game we saw from him. And even that had a fair amount of mistakes, not only from him, but also the team. JackieLove also now is...
Oh, God.
Our new Uzi. Record. I think he's our new Uzi. Right now, because he has now claimed a 7th loss in an LPL final, and now he has the most amount of second place finishes of any player, which kind of sucks as the player with the 2nd highest amount of finals appearances, behind Knight, by the way, at 12. JackieLove is at 10, and now he has lost 7 of them. So
rough.
Sucks. 3 of them actually against BLG and this team. So. And that means 3 of them coming at the hands of Knight, who is his former Top Esports buddy. So
sucks. The last two were against BLG as well, because the one before this, the last finals he was in was summer of 2025.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. He's now lost three finals from BLG. They're not back to back, but the finals in which he attended: 24 spring, 25 split 3, 26 split 2. Those are the 3 finals, or not 3 finals in a row, because he did win split 1.
He won split 1, 2025.
But
to break it up.
Yeah, it's depressing for JackieLove, but You're a world champion, baby. You can do whatever you want. Got one last topic before we move on from our finals and we end out the show. We're talking about MSI. I don't think we're going to go too much into depth because we don't have all of the seeding stuff for the main bracket. Thank you to BLG yet again for winning first stand. We don't have to play in this disgusting play-in bracket. But T1 are there. And it is highly likely that we're going to get T1 VLG for the first round of MSI. So,
Nope.
TLBLG.
Really quickly, before we move to the actual part of the real part of MSI, did we think anybody other than T1 is getting out of this play-ins bracket? Because only one team makes it.
No.
I really hate this fucking...
Yeah, I hate it. Well, yeah. I mean...
No. You hate it. You hate it and nothing else.
I'm always a fan of getting to watch more tape in a lot of games. Like, that's what I'll say is fun. Like, there's going to be a lot of games. A lot of games played. But, yeah, you're right. It's not all going to matter because you're given too many Like, the only way T1, like, if you just give me these 4 teams and like I didn't know the bracket, like, the only argument I could have maybe made is that, and this is still already incredibly dumb, by the way, is that T1, like, they just have an off series and the play-in stage is so short that if you blow one series, like, you're out. Like, we don't even have that fallback, right? Like, it's if there's a world where T1 still somehow lose a I know this is crazy again, lose a best of 5 to TL or I guess Carmine Corp, like, they'd still have another shot, right? And that's what really makes it impossible for T1 to not make it out of this bracket for me.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. T1 are probably going to make it out. I think KC have a very small chance of doing it. I think that all of the lanes from if we're talking about I would say the most likely upper round 2 bracket matchup is probably T1 versus KC. I think KC are probably gapped in basically every single position individually, but I do think KC's team fighting is good. From what I saw of them
Doran
in the playoffs.
is not like Doran is not that on fire, and
he
Kana
did have that
is
Olaf
a good
game
laner.
though. I don't know, man.
Doran is not incredible.
Yeah, but like at the same time, I also think that Kana was a former T1 top laner, and like they got rid of his ass.
That was 5 years ago.
I don't care. But like for me, that'll be cool though if Kana is able to go against T1. Because we technically have 3 T1 top laners at this tournament. We have Zeus, we have Kana, and we have Doran. But like I think the team fighting from KC is probably the thing that stood out to me the most. I also think that Yike is a very inventive jungler. Like, this guy is very creative in how he plays out mid-game specifically. So, like, I think that could be something they could look onto. And even though I don't think Busio is better than he was last year, I think Fly Busio is currently better than KC Busio. He's still Busio, and I think Kalist is still good. I think they're still a good bot lane, even if I think they're probably going to get ran by Pays and Keria. Like, I mean, hey man, Busio's beaten Pays before, right? In some games.
I'm excited.
I think it could. I think it could happen. I think it could happen in round 2. But as we know, T1 are a scaling team at every international. It doesn't matter if they barely clinch 5 games against IG, because they're eventually going to be strong enough to win Worlds that very same tournament. So I feel even if KC are able to beat them in round 2, T1 are going to be in lower bracket, run through everyone, and then they're going to rematch in round 3, where T1 will probably win.
God, that's such a cursed timeline. All I really care about this play-in is, I'm pretty aware that Carmine Corp would come in favor to the matchup. I think the LCS, sorry to segue. I know the LCS is a pretty weak point, maybe one of the weakest, but all I care about, it's probably going to be lower round 2. Yeah, lower round 2 is all I care about. I need TL to beat KC. That's all I care about. T1's going to smash whoever comes out of that side.
I
don't think we're favored,
wanted
but we can do it. I mean, I think TL can do it.
I think we can, but I feel like G2 is probably better than Lion, and like G2 and KC are not super far off of one another in my opinion. So like if I am trying to like think about this logically, KC probably beat TL. Like there's like a 75% chance they win. Like I would say 3 out of 4 worlds, KC are the victors of this. TL probably can take a game. I would say it's probably KC 3-1, unfortunately. I just don't think TL can do it, to be honest.
Yeah, again, I'm with you that I think KC are favored, but I mean,
I know. I want to beat EU as much as the next guy. I just let's save it for the main event. I think there is a higher chance Lion beat G2 than there is Team Liquid beat KC.
Who cares? That region sucks. Let's make a finals, baby. Let's make a finals of the region.
Blind loyalty.
Yeah.
I will not abandon, even if you are correct.
Look, main stage. We're gonna get some banger matchups for this. We're gonna get
BLG versus G2 right away.
BLG versus T1 potentially. We're gonna get G2 versus Top Esports, which is recently become a repeat matchup that we continue to see. Depending on what the other first seeds of these regions and where they're placed in the actual bracket, we could get BLG HLE as soon as the second round of this tournament. And that, I've been waiting to get a best of 5 of that. We're going to have TES versus, if they win, they're going to potentially be going up against Lion, which puts them within round 4 of MSI.
Yeah, it's hyped. Exciting. I think BLG have a lot of really fun competition here. I just really like T1 looms over my head like a shadow when it comes to talking about LPL teams, though, right? I just hate the fact that that's a thing. I think BLG versus HLE, it's going to happen. It needs to happen. The people need to see it. That's going to be an amazing series. I'm very excited for that. This whole tournament looks really fun. Like, obviously, I'm a little bit. I have rose-tinted glasses, but like last year's MSI was so good. I would argue it was the best international the whole year. Like, even though the prestige of Worlds,
I agree,
makes it what it is. Like, MSI 2025 was like the best tournament, and like I got to go to that one, so obviously that
it's because the format doesn't suck.
And it's because the format doesn't suck, and like a shitload of those best of 5s went the distance. I think that this can be a similar caliber MSI. Emphasis on the can. I'm not sure it will be, but it can be.
Also, sorry, go ahead, Slayer.
Oh, I keep it brief. It's okay. G2, bring that ass here, boy. I can't wait for that one, dude. I know Top Esports, and we're all, I don't give a shit about the TES International thing, man. I'm suspending it. That's just such a negative cycle to be stuck in all the time. Nah, man, I'm gonna be hyped. I want to go see Jackie Love poop on all of G2.
It's a new Top Esports too. We've got the sophomore class. Maybe shedding off the old guard for these guys has removed the curse.
The old guard beat them at Worlds last year.
Yeah, but there is always the Top Esports International curse is my point. And maybe they can go higher than they've ever gone before. It would be awesome if they could, because I think Zoyan and Feng Yue specifically have been so fun to watch this split.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of cool streaks going in. There are, I think, 5 players. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 players that are going to 5 MSIs in a row. Faker, Caps, Bin, Broken Blade, Gumayushi, Keria, and Owner, which is a nuts, and Zeus. Zeus should also. It's not. I'm pretty sure. Here, hold on. I can just double check this real quick before I. It is not Zeus. Wait. Oh, wait. Where is he? Let me just control F. Where are you at, little bro? Ah, okay. It's not last year. That's right, because he got removed last year. So, yeah. So 4/5 of ZOFGK ZOFGK. We've got 2 European players, and for the first time ever, Bin as our first Chinese player to hit 5 MSIs in a row. It's also the only MSIs he's attended. He has gone to every MSI that he's been able to attend as a player, which I think is incredible, outside of 2021, I guess. So I think that's a really cool streak. We have a bunch of teams. This also means that thanks to T1 actually qualifying for the tournament, they're also now the only organization to attend MSI 5 times in a row as well, all the way back from 2022. And their record, by the way, 2nd, 3rd, 3rd, 2nd.
Ha!
Winning the trophy is different, but like that's a very, very tight record to have. Whereas BLG 2nd, 2nd, 4th. Yeah, this is the first time that HLE as an organization will be making it over to MSI, and very cool. But I'm happy to see that we're getting deeper representation, and more importantly, that we're having repeats of teams and players. Because as a region that does not get as fair of a coverage from LPL Esports as a whole globally and from Western audiences, seeing the same names every single year builds reputation. It builds, hey, wow, these guys are really, really strong, or these are very good players that consistently make internationals. Okay, maybe this is the strength of the LPL. Maybe this is the strength that we'll be seeing from China come Worlds. So I'm always happy to see them, and 4 times in a row is impressive. It is the same amount as RNG. RNG definitely had some years that were going a little. They won it 3 times, but they missed 2017 and they missed 2019. So I'm excited. I'm so excited for MSI. Minus this play-in stage, because this play-in stage is, I don't get why we have to invite 4 teams for a 1-slot tournament. We could just do it how we did last year, but also, where did we get these seedings from? Like, don't we have, Ox pointed this out on Twitter. Don't we have an entire global database for seeding these teams? And somehow we're going off of first stand results. That's
all
it.
We need. That's all we need. What else would you possibly need, Dimitri?
EU second seed is as good as Korea second seed. That's all I'm going to say. That is what Riot has confirmed by doing this.
Was LCK in the final for Sin? No, you're right. It's
G2 is a pool 1 team because they were in first stand finals. How is that a thing? No offense to G2.
No offense to G2.
Let's be a little honest with ourselves, okay?
Be offensive.
You know what? Actually, I'm gonna go to LOL Esports right now. I'm pulling up LOL Esports. Let's go. I'm gonna go look at the rankings. Where are the power rankings? Because I don't think G2 is number 2. Huh? Gen G, a team who did not make MSI, is ranked number 2, is actually tied with Billy in first place. They have the same score that Amazon, the AWS Global Power Rankings has them. 1522 is the score.
Intriguing indeed.
Yeah. Oh, G2 is 4th place. G2 is 4th place on these rankings. Okay. All right.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, we're gonna just pull it up on. We're gonna pull it up on the screen now. We're going to rankings.
Hey guys, remember you have a crystal ball and stuff to do too for MSI when it comes out.
Look at this, because if this is true, look even at the regional score. LEC being the 3rd best region, I could buy that. I could definitely agree with what G2 has shown. We're sending KC, who I think how Quax was saying was definitely a close second. Like, what if we're doing that, then why are we not ranking the teams appropriately?
Why do we even have the top team in the LCS?
Because they're carried by their former record. This thing takes into account 2025, and I don't get it. IG is a top 20. Look at Team WE. WE is better than Cloud9.
NIP is 17th
Let's
in the
go,
world,
WE,
bro.
Secret Whales over IG. Let's go.
Yeah.
Fnatic over.
Fnatic over.
Fnatic
Oh my God.
over Furia.
LNG.
Fnatic over Furia is
LNG over
some
Donisham.
BS.
I love it. Oh,
Shifters better.
OMG over Disguised is also
OMG
very
is
funny.
3 points off of Shopify Rebellion.
Send those
Despite-
clearing OMG.
That's why we need the toilet bowl.
Dignitas.
We need the worst teams.
Dignitas is
in
one of the
wor-
worst teams in the world, bro. Yeah.
We need the worst teams of each region to play. That's why I love the Asia Invitational we had last year, the Asia Star Invitational, where we had like Weibo up against the VCS or the LCP teams playing against GAM and then losing. Like that was hype. That was hype to be like, oh crap, we're getting shit on by LCP. Like, oh no, it's not good. Okay. All right. That aside, we've done our Riot format flame.
we're just
Just
exploring
don't.
the math. This is
Roommate
math.
Ilya, we don't have to read. We don't have to read this. I'm not doing math on stream.
It's calculus. Maybe.
It's just it's bad. It's bad is what it is. If we're not going to use it, why do we have it? Okay. That's all of our podcast for today. We do have Roommate Ilya about 5 feet to my right, but Roommate Ilya did not want to do a learning Chinese lesson. If you want one for the next episode, please spam in the comments, Professor Ilya, we need a lesson. He's now looking at me very sad, but he should have made this. He had the time to make a lesson, and he didn't want to because he didn't think you people at home wanted a lesson. So if you want to show your love, if you want to show Roommate Ilya that he does not know what you guys want, get in the comments. We're not learning. No, we're not learning. No. We're already past time. We're past time.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah. And see, even now Slayer's like, we're not doing a lesson, guys. It's now both of their faults. So
Okay. Well, wow.
thank you, everybody, for joining us on the 18th episode of an LPL English podcast. The next time we are on is likely going to be the start of Split 3, so you're not going to hear from us for a while. I want to thank everybody who has joined us, whether you're a one-time viewer or you watched throughout the entirety of Split 1 and Split 2. Your viewership is always appreciated. Slayer, Quax, where can people find you over the next period of time?
Well, I'm gonna steal. No, Quax, you do it. Say where we will be.
We will be on the promotion tournament in the North American Challengers League to see like which teams from Tier 3 and which teams from Tier 2 either earn or retain their spot in Tier 2 going into the summer split. Slayer and I are going to be on together on the 19th.
Yay!
And then I will be on with Yanni, current LPL caster. No, he's here. On the 18th, and then Slayer is going to be with good old random minion caster, another very extremely talented color caster in his own right, on the 20th and final day. So you can catch us there. Besides that, don't think we have a lot of plans, my friends. So we're gonna be enjoying the time off. And yeah,
we'll be playing more games. Yeah.
You might see our streams light up here and there if you want. I'm pretty sure we both have those linked on our socials, or we will at least be posting when we go live on our socials if you want to keep up with that.
Yeah. Last thing I'd say is not necessarily things where you can find me. Quax. That's my same last thing before stuff moves over to summer, including NACL stuff that I do. The last thing I would say is, as a person who is very connected, obviously, to the broadcast here at LPL English, it's been very fun to see the growth, not just of everybody, but in particular some of the new faces that the admin team selected to be a part of the project. First splits really could be very, very demanding. You have to you got to learn a lot very quickly. I feel like Split 2 is when you get to see a lot of people start to shine, get into their groove, and it was very awesome to see that from a lot of people, Quax included, who was of course on the second to last broadcast as a caster, and then was the desk for the finals. But it was awesome to see all the people really grow and shine, especially the Split 2. And I look forward to Split 3 with our bigger family.
Yeah, it's been a lot. We still got one split to go, and then we got Worlds, but we're not going to get there yet. Praying for BLG and Top Esports. Please send your support to our LPL representatives going over to
Yes, give them your energy.
Yes, Viper's first time at MSI. It's also in his hometown, so hopefully we got a lot of good content coming in from LPL and from BLG and Top Esports. But thank you again for joining us for the 18th episode. Remember to stay subscribed on all of our channels. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Keep tapped in on LPL English. We'll be doing interviews at MSI remotely, because if you guys want to donate on coffee, you can do a one-time donation, or you can do a recurring subscription. And if we get enough money, we'll fly my cat out to Daejeon. I don't think we're gonna get enough for a seat to Korea, but maybe we can fly the cat out and she can walk around with a GoPro strapped to her head. We'll figure that out. Thank
you. Don't feel too bad, because Worlds is in NA. So hey, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. We'll see if we can make it out. I don't know if I'm making it to Austin or to Allen, Texas. No one's going to Allen, Texas. Thank you again. Have a good night, and see you later, everybody.